Welcome to Rapture, a city built deep beneath the ocean after the events of World War II in 1946 by a man named Andrew Ryan, who sought to push the limits of human morality and escape the restrictions placed upon science by society. This is the world of a video game series called BioShock and BioShock 2, developed in 2007, and today I want to talk to you about the positive aspects of video games in our lives through their creativity and other elements. So first of all, video games are incredible pieces of art, just as valid as movies, books, plays, whatever, because they take us to places we never thought we'd be able to go before. Places like Hyrule in The Legend of Zelda, Tau Volantis in Dead Space 3, a Victorian-styled city called Dunwall in Dishonored, and places like Reach in the Halo series. But video games do something special. They take it a step further by placing us in control of the character. We become the decision makers of the characters in these games, and their decisions ultimately become our decisions. So today I want to talk to you first off how video games inspire creativity, how video games are a great social experience, and how video games allow us to relax, de-stress, and escape reality. So if you haven't heard this song by Sam Hart, Mario Kart Love Song, I highly recommend you go check it out. Essentially what he's done is he's taken an entire love song, but wrote it from the perspective of Mario Kart. And oftentimes we hear, there's music inspired by movies and movie soundtracks and all that stuff, but video games are just as valid a form of art and are just as easily inspirational pieces as they are just actual forms of media and entertainment. And I myself as an artist understand this because I actually wrote a song inspired by the video game called Heavy Rain on the PS3, which is a game marked by lots of themes of kind of sadness, depression, but also triumph through perseverance. And I took that as a man who's faced things in my life that have left me kind of feeling hopeless, and I realized that I could apply those things through having to rise up out of those challenges. And so I wrote a song called No One Knows My Name. And I wouldn't have written the song the way I did had I not played the video game Heavy Rain. Essentially, that game shaped the way the song was created through its somber tones and lyrics. And I could have been inspired by other pieces of media, but it wouldn't have been the same as this video game. The field of art and sketching and drawing are also very, very closely tied to video games. These are a few sketches of my brother's. He is an incredible artist, and he does lots of different types of drawings, anime, but also a lot of video game drawings. And on the left, we see Master Chief from the Halo series and Lightning from the Final Fantasy series. And so obviously there's other forms of inspiration outside of video games for drawing and sketching, but just again, it's another example of how the arts can be influenced by video games. So secondly, video games are an incredible social experience when implemented correctly. And oftentimes we hear it said, all the cool cats play online, but that's actually false. We live in an era dominated by the PS3 and the Xbox 360, where online gameplay has become the staple of what it means to be a gamer. But I grew up with the NES, the Super Nintendo, and the N64, where gaming back then was about the social aspect, about being together and playing different games together in the same room, not about talking crap about people that you don't know and finding out who slept with whose mom last night. It simply wasn't about that. As cliche an image this is, Nintendo's really gotten it right from the start. You see with this Wii ad, it's about being together in the same room and being using your imagination and your creative side to really have fun with these games. And my friends and I, and my brothers and I, we still play Mario Party on a regular basis. And essentially for us, it's no different than playing a regular board game. We're in the same room having fun, doing the same things you would with a board game, but it's just on the screen. And that's what it really all comes down to, is being able to use your imagination and just have fun together and experience the game as a group rather than just focus solely on the game itself if you're playing alone. So finally, video games are a great way to de-stress, relax, and escape reality for a short period of time. And I'm going to talk about the first two, de-stressing and relaxing. There's been a lot of research done that has shown that puzzle games like Tetris actually are great ways to kind of let your mind relax and de-stress. And that has to do with giving your mind a single task to focus on, which kind of creates a barrier for all the things, all the crazy stuff going on in your mind that you're thinking about. It lets you kind of just throw all of that out and focus in on just solving the puzzle, which is great for your brain to kind of take your mind off of things. But it also gives your brain a workout. It definitely improves your ability to think quickly and your cognitive abilities. And I personally have played a little bit more difficult puzzle game just recently called Portal on the Xbox 360. And essentially, complex puzzle game where you have to get from point A to point B and get through all these obstacles. And all you have is a portal gun. So if you shoot a portal at the wall and then another portal at the ceiling, when you walk through the wall, you'll fall through the ceiling. And it's a really great game because it's going to make you think really critically, and it's a step away from the common occurrence where you get an Xbox 360 or PS3 game and it's just a shooter. You're really going to have to use your critical thinking ability to play this game and to beat it. So it's just a really great example of another puzzle game, just kind of making your brain work over time, but also letting you kind of just relax by focusing on the puzzle element. And finally, video games are a great way to escape reality. I personally went through a tough time a couple years ago, went through a breakup with a girlfriend, and my buddy had just gotten me the BioShock series, BioShock 1 and 2. And I was really numb at the time, and I just really didn't want to do anything other than play video games. And found myself kind of really just not wanting to think. So I sat down and played these games, and I allowed myself to be alone in that experience, but at the same time I was completely surrounded by a world of mystery and chaos, very much similar to my own mental state at the time. And I didn't realize it then, but I was making connections with the themes in the game, and I was working through things in my life and applying them from the game and the lessons learned by the characters and just all of the elements tied up in the BioShock series. And I was connecting it to my life. And obviously it's very obvious to see that now because it's 2 years ago. But back then it was really beneficial because it was kind of this process that created this barrier between me and reality, which was something I needed. And basically it was a time where I had no control in my life, and I found myself being able to have control over this character who I knew was going toward a predetermined end. And I knew that in the end everything would work out and be okay. And essentially that was really comforting to me. So in sum, video games are an incredible way to just get inspired. It's inevitable. The art, the music, the digital elements, everything about video games are beautiful and unique forms of media, just like books and movies and plays. And they're really going to inspire artists and musicians and every other form of creative work to really draw off of those themes. Video games are also an incredible social experience when implemented correctly. Obviously, my perspective is when you're with a group, it's the best. You're going to reap the most benefits from it. And finally, video games are a great way to de-stress, relax, give your brain a workout, and also let you escape reality for a short period of time. So in parting, I challenge you to take it upon yourself to go out and find your own city hidden beneath the waves. Thank you.